So routing is the process of creating physical interconnects between or among the signal pins by following the DRC rules. And also after routing, timing also has to meet. We have learned this already. So let us take this example where we have one schematic here in which two flops are there, some combo logic in between, and then there is a clock going. That we have taken one example for understanding. So this is just a schematic. Physically it would look something like this. In this, if you pay attention here, it is just nothing but, if you see here, it is basically one flip flop here. So let's name it as FF1. It will be named as FF2. So if you pay attention here, it is basically a schematic, not just schematic. We are trying to make a high level example for how the routing would be happening. So we have already learned that after the placement of the cells, let's say this is a placed design. So this is a placed design. In the placed design, we first have to route the clock. So what we are trying to say is clock optimization. Let's say if it is already done, then how it would have been done? There would have been some buffering in the clock path, that is part of the optimization, and clock is already routed. So after this, CTS would have happened, and post CTS optimization, which we call it as PCO, post CTS optimization is done, in which we are trying to meet the timing and skew and gap and DRV limits for the clock, basically clock optimization. So that is where it is called as post CTS optimization. If you pay attention, it is actually signal is not routed. So we will call it as signal not routed. Signal is still open. So till PCO, signal is not routed, and in routing stage it will be routed. And when the routing is done, so let's say for routing purposes, we will connect it as physically. Physically the routes will be drawn from this point to this point, and then from here to here, something like this. So this would be part of your signal routing, and we will do it with DRC aware. So we have already seen this part also. We have learnt that signal will be DRC aware routing. It will be a DRC aware routing, and then after routing is done of the signal, we are trying to meet the timing. So we have to meet the timing also. So it has to be timing aware also. We cannot have random routing, it has to be timing aware, and it should meet DRC. These are the minimum requirements. But when it is done, there will be track assignment and metal will be drawn. So this yellow colored, this is your signal routing. This part, this is your signal which is getting routed in the routing stage. But once the routing is done, it has to be optimized. When we say optimized, basically what we are trying to say, when we are saying optimized, it means it will be buffered also, buffered or whatever is needed to meet the timing. So this timing aware optimization or DRC aware optimization, that is part of your optimization part. So that is what we are going to understand. Routing optimization means it has to optimize the design in terms of DRC and in terms of timing. That is what happens in the routing optimization stage. So in previous videos, we have already covered that routing optimization, there will be done in two phases. First is global routing and second is our detailed routing. These two things we have already covered in previous videos. Lecture 66 and 67 are for the same purposes, where introduction to routing is given, and after that global routing and detailed routing is explained in detail. Now here we are trying to understand the main part of routing algorithm, how tool is going to route. Basically that is what we are trying to understand. So without wasting any time further, let us go to understand the concept of routing algorithms. So routing algorithms means the algorithms that tool is going to use for the routing purposes, and it will try to optimize using these algorithm only. So first is our maze algorithm. Maze algorithm, we will try to understand what tool is going to do in the maze algorithm. First thing to note is maze algorithm is most widely used algorithm to find the shortest path between 2 points, and we have to take one example to understand that. So basically let us take one example, that let us say there is a cell 1 and cell 2, we are calling them as C1 and C2. So cell 1 output is, let's say, connecting to cell 2 input, and then there can be multiple steps to identify that. So to identify the source and target pins of cell 1 and cell 2, we can create a routing grid, and based on that distance of the wavefront, the adjacent grid boxes are progressively filled with the target node T. So that is a theoretical way of saying it, but let's see the example here graphically how the tool will be doing it. So let's say we have one design, and the design is in the this kind of dimension. So the square box is here actually going to represent our grid, and we will be filling it with the boxes. So how the tool will be doing it? Tool will consider that this is the design area, and there is a source here, there is a target here. Now there can be multiple ways to travel. One can be from here to here, one can be from here to here, and one can be here from here. So these are three ways which tool can use to achieve the routing. But this is very theoretical way of saying it. There will be some calculation involved in it. We will see it now. So once tool has identified that this is source and this is target, the tool, what tool will do is, tool will start filling the wave everywhere possible until it reaches the target. So for example, 1 2 3 4 and then 5 and then 6 7 and 8 and then 9. This is one way of going, and then there can be this way also, 2 like this, 1 2 and then 3 4 5 6 7 and 8, and then it achieves the T. Otherwise the third method is 1 2 and then 3 here, but 4 5 6 and then 7 8 9. This is one way of going, and then another way of going is, it will be 1 2 3 and then 4 5 6 7 8 9. Otherwise 2 3 4 5 6 and then 7 8 9. Otherwise 5 6 and then this one is 7. This is one way of going. Another way could be this 1 2 3 4 5. This is how tool will first fill the grid. Now whatever way the tool takes, all are possible ways of going to the target. So it can be like this, it can be from here to here. This is also one way. There are multiple possible ways, and most of them have similar cost function associated. So this is all the possible ways are first explored. All possible ways are explored in this. So this way tool knows these are all possible ways that I can use for routing. But now the timing constraint will come into picture, and the DRC constraint will come into picture, based on which tool will find which is the most optimum path. Let's say the downward path is this is one way of going, and this is also one way of going, but this is giving you better timing and DRC compared to number 2 track. So tool will try to route from this one way of one method. There can be another way of routing also, which can be intermediate like this. These are also one possible way of routing. Multiple ways are there. The tool will try to identify the cost based on the timing and DRC constraint for this routing. But the advantage of using the maze algorithm will be that there will be a valid path there will be a valid and the shortest path with timing and DRC constraint met, and that is the advantage for the maze algorithm. So this is one type of method that tool can use, but this maze algorithm basically it is going to give you some one valid path. So the advantage for this is at least one valid path will be there with maze algorithm. That is going to be the advantage for this algorithm. But the problem is it is not fully optimized, and it is not basically fully optimized, and there is one more thing, that nowadays tool complexity has increased. So this is actually initial algorithm. Basically it is a base algorithm on which the new algorithms are built up, and now we have a lot more complex algorithm. So there is one more algorithm called as Steiner tree algorithm. Steiner tree algorithm, basically it is basically for improved, it is improved method. Nowadays everything with time has improved, so it is an improved method of routing with which we are trying to reduce the wire length. So Steiner tree algorithm helps in reduced wire length. That is actually costly, and that is what is the advantage with the Steiner tree algorithm. So we will try to understand how the Steiner tree algorithm helps. So let's say that you have one source. Source means that it is an output from where you have to go to the destination, and destination is called as target. So we have, let's say, one target here, or one destination, let's say. So this is one destination D2, and D1 is, let's say, here. Now there are multiple ways of routing. So let's say the tool routed like this in one way, and another routing happened from, this is from source to this destination, and one other from this destination to, from this source to this destination. So this is one way of routing. But this way if you route, then the problem here is that D2 route is significantly longer than D1, and overall wire length will be also longer. So let's say this is X1 segment, this is X2 segment, and this is X3 segment. So total wire length here is X1 plus X2 plus X3, that is your total wire length, right? Now let's say you have to reduce the wire length. Then how do you do it? You will write it from here to here, but then from here only we will reduce it like this. So in this case, let's say that routing from source to destination D2 has happened from the middle of this X1. So the total wire length will also change in this case. This from this point to this point, the destination length of this segment will be X2 only, but the overall wire length now will be X1 plus this portion of X2. X1 is middle, so this is already used by this, and that is why it will not be going to repeat. But from this middle point to this is only X2, and that is the total wire length now. So Steiner algorithm is clearly helping in this particular case with reduction of the wire length. So that is also one algorithm that tool uses for routing optimization. That is all for this video. We will come up with more interesting topics in further videos. Please do subscribe to VLSI Academy and let us know your views in the comment section. Thank you.